Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new, I am Marianne. I live here in Canada with my husband and two kids, ages 5 and 7, and I make videos on simplifying life and motherhood through easy organizing and decluttering. Today we are doing a kitchen declutter. So it is like early November when I'm recording this. It's like, when you're just like getting into like the holiday mode. My kitchen is already super simplified. I have decluttered and sort of like simplified everything over the years. However, I do know that there are like a couple things that have been on my mind that I'm like, I don't need that. Why do I keep moving that from cupboard to cupboard? So like, let's get rid of it. So I'm gonna first do like a little declutter and I'll take you with me as I do it. And then secondly, I'm going to share 10 items or categories of things that you can get rid of in your kitchen today to hopefully inspire you and motivate you to declutter and have a super organized kitchen for the start of the holidays. So this video is also part of my 10 things to declutter series. So I have so far done the bedroom and the bathroom, and I think that's it. I think so. Must be our third video in the series. If you haven't already watched those ones, they're good ones to go back to as well when you're getting in the decluttering mode. So I have my candle lit. The kids have been dropped off at school, and I am ready to just like dig in. So like I said, I'm gonna do a quick declutter right now, and then I'm gonna come back and share with you 10 categories of things to let go of. Let's do it. So I started at one end of the kitchen and just went through every single cupboard and just did like a quick scan and tidy and reset to make sure and like see is there stuff we need or not. This is the one that's above our fridge, and like most of you out there, it's like stuff that we don't use as often. So some big bulky pots and pans, and then my party bin, which I'll show you in a second, that I did also kind of go through. This cupboard again was one that this is above our stove, our oven, and this is another one that I knew there was stuff in there that I'm like, I want to get rid of a few things in there. So all I did, reopen it, do like a quick little tidy, reset what we do have, and it's just basically as you're tidying, as you're resetting, you're automatically like just looking at things and like, is this worth putting back in? Like, is this something we're using? Like, and then you just make that decision and kind of pull it out. Right there, that's my lunch bag, and then the kids' lunch boxes actually live right above that normally as well when they're home. What do you guys keep above your oven or stove? See how we have our oils and vinegars in that one section there? I always debate because I've heard you're not supposed to put any food items above your stove because it gets hot, obviously. So we used to have like spices and a bunch of that. So we moved those, but I still have oils and vinegars. So if anyone knows anything about that, let me know. So this is more of our everyday. As you can see, the bottom two cupboards stay very tidy. That's what we're using all the time. So we're touching those plates, those bowls all the time, every single day. And it's always like those top cupboards where you can't reach all the time. You're not always seeing everything. That sort of things just sometimes get shoved. I didn't end up getting rid of anything here, but I just reset, like separated our baking dishes, our serving dishes, and then the two casserole dishes I put lower, which are the ones I use like constantly. This is another cupboard that I went through, and as you can see, it's a bit of a disaster. You'll see in a second that I have two toasters, which I will explain a little later in the video. But again, I just like reset things. This looks, like a bit of a disaster right now. We had a like sandwich bag situation. Or like a Ziploc bag. We don't buy Ziploc bags, but we do keep them on hand. Like if I have one, I'll reuse it and keep washing it so that we can, basically it's for frozen stuff usually. So if I'm like making something that I want to put in the freezer, like if I'm making bulk of something, but they had just got a bit out of control there. So I just did like a quick tidy in those, reset everything, took out the items that I know we didn't need anymore. And then the other thing that naturally happens when I'm decluttering is I like want to clean. Like I'm not a huge like cleaner really myself. Like it's not like doesn't excite me, but it always happens as soon as I start decluttering. Okay, this bin, which I just grabbed out of that pantry I just had open, is called our infrequently used utensils bin. Basically, we yeah, that's, I guess, is what we call it. So this is stuff that we only have one drawer for all of our like utensils normally. So I put all of the big bulky ones that we're not using every day into this bin and throw it up there. It's so handy. It's one of my favorite like kitchen like hacks, I guess you'd call it. So this is things like our soup ladle, a potato masher, stuff that we're not using every day, and they're very annoying to have in a drawer, especially when we only have one drawer. Like if we had another drawer, it would be fine, but this is the only one we have. We only have one. So I love putting stuff like this. It's also so easy to reset. You just toss everything out, do a quick review, and put it all back in. Same thing, this is our party bin. So this is the one that was above our fridge with the kind of like some of the bulky pots and pans. And I didn't end up taking anything, like getting rid of anything out of this bin, surprisingly, actually. I thought I was going to. But I just did a tidy and just like kind of reviewed everything. So like, are we going to use this? Annie Rose's birthday's coming up in a few months. Will I use like these pink streamers? And kind of make a mental note, like, yes, I have everything I probably need, because she still loves unicorns. So we don't need to buy probably any new decorations for her birthday. And then I just put everything back in. Paper napkins. So we really only use paper napkins on special occasions. If I have theme ones, like say I had bought Thanksgiving ones, I'd probably already still be using them up. Like I don't keep those year to year, generally as a rule. However, the plain ones I do keep like from occasion to occasion, like the yellow ones. There's a bunch of pink ones that I know now I can use for Annie Rose's birthday. So those I do, and I usually keep them in here along with like our balloons, our paper plates, as you can see, anything that we need for parties.
Okay, I'm done. That took like 2 seconds. Like I think maybe I spent 10, 15 minutes, and I probably could have done it in like 90 seconds if I was just like cruising through. Like I said, I had a few things in mind that I knew I was like, I need to get those out of this kitchen. And then there was a few other things I found like along the way that I'm like, oh yeah, that can definitely go. So my top 10 categories of things to get out of your kitchen to instantly make it more organized and less chaotic and more ready for the holidays. Let's do it. Number 1 are special occasion items. I mean, it goes without saying that all these categories I'm recommending, it's items in these categories that you're not actually using. So for special occasion, you're obviously gonna have items that are for parties, or for seasonal, or for the holidays, for birthday, something like that you're not going to be using every day and you do want to keep. But then there are some special occasion items that you're like, ooh, I've had that for 10 years. I've never actually touched it. I've never used it. I don't like that color. It was gifted to me, and really it's probably time to let that go. So I have an example of my items. So I was gifted, or we were gifted, champagne flutes, which are so pretty and beautiful, and I feel like they feel heavy, so they're probably like actually nice. I don't know anything about glassware, but I rarely even drink at home, let alone have champagne, let alone have champagne in a champagne flute. I know that these two can go, and I also am kind of excited for whoever gets them, because I'll donate them, and someone will pick those up for Christmas, and they'll be like a perfect, or maybe even it'll be a little gift for somebody else who does love champagne. So those we're letting go of. Category number 2 is food. I did a whole video a couple months ago about fridge organization, like a fridge declutter. So you can check that out for extra like fridge inspiration. My number 1 suggestion for food and decluttering, like your pantry or your fridge or anything like that, is to just use the food. So look in, think about exactly what's in there, and plan your next, say, 5 or 10 dinners based on what's in there. If you know you have a backstock of canned fruit and it's all going to expire in the next 2 months, you're like, okay, what can I do with it? Use it up. So plan that, be strategic. If you're using it for kids' lunches, put it out on the counter in the morning so you remember to use it. For the next 3 nights, canned fruit can be your side dish to your dinner. Like, it's the easiest thing. I did a quick scan of ours. I'm pretty in tune what's in there right now. However, I did see that I had bought, like, I don't usually buy things just to have on stock. I only buy things we plan to eat. However, I did buy these baked beans, mainly because I love baked beans. Tonight happens to be our no cook dinner tonight, which means like we just like make something that doesn't actually require cooking. And so I am gonna leave these on the counter tonight. I have 2 cans of them, and we're gonna have beans on toast. So this is a perfect little dinner, and we're gonna use up these cans of beans so that they don't expire. If you feel like you are overwhelmed with food and there's way more than you can ever eat in the next 2-3 months, give it away. Like, I will sometimes, if I'm overwhelmed with cans, and if they're not expired, I take them right to our grocery store, and there is a food bank, like huge barrel that I can just drop them into, and they use that for the food bank. Like, the food bank is screaming, in our areas are screaming for food right now. So if you have anything extra that's not expired, I would definitely recommend doing that. Or just give it to a family member, give it to your mother-in-law, give it to your neighbor, give it to somebody else who maybe is gonna use it. As much as you might hate food waste, if it is expired and you know you're never gonna use it and you cannot pass it on to anyone else, just get rid of it, throw it out. You may waste a few cans of something or a few packages of rice-a-roni or something. However, having that simpler, super decluttered pantry is gonna make it so much easier moving forward to plan and like use up everything you have. Category 3 are mugs and travel mugs. So anything that you drink like a hot beverage out of. For almost every one of our clients, I find that mugs is a big thing. My theory on why everyone has so many mugs is that A, they're like a very like cozy gift. Like, people gift them a lot. So you are often gifted a lot of mugs, like more mugs than you can ever use. And B, they're cheap. So people like to like buy them. It's fun, it's cute. They have like cute little sayings on them. They have cute pictures, which I totally get. However, if you're looking to create a little bit of extra space, mugs are one of the easiest, quickest, simplest ways to create more space in your cupboards, to lighten your load in the kitchen of items that you are in charge of managing. In our house, I have 1 mug, Scott has 1 mug. We have 2 little like small mugs that I have in case like I have a girlfriend come over for tea or coffee. And then we have 1 mug that's my mom's that lives in the cupboard because she uses it when she comes and babysits. And then for travel mugs, I have this one. I don't use it a ton, like I don't take it to work every day or anything. I use it periodically, it's fine. Like, I personally don't love like coffee on the go that much. I love having coffee at home, so I know myself, so I personally don't need more than 1 because it's not something I use constantly. Scott also has one. Scott does use his every single day, and he fills it with coffee to take to work in the morning, and then he uses it all day as his water bottle as well. So it keeps his water cold and his coffee hot. So we each have 1. Like, honestly, I can barely look after this one. The idea of having to keep track of more than 1 mug sounds like a headache to me. But again, this will be based on how much space you have, how many coffees you drink in a day. So as always, you do you, but if you're looking for some extra room, this is a very common category for people. Category 4 are large utensils, or like cooking, like large cooking like utensils sort of thing. So I don't know if I've ever shared like how we keep ours organized on YouTube before. I definitely have shared it on Instagram. It's easy to take everything out and quickly review what you're using and what you're not. And so I quickly did that. And I knew there was something that I have. This little like a crinkle cutter, I guess. Is that what you call this? I wanted one of these so bad. I wanted to make cute little lunches, cute little carrots for the kids. I was excited to make like crinkle fries with potatoes. I had so many ideas for this little crinkle cutter, and I think I only paid like $5 or $8 for it. However, I drove a half an hour to get it. Half an hour there and a half an hour back. It was like the next town over. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I was really desperate for this crinkle cutter, and I've had it probably 2 years now, and I have used it maybe twice. And I held on to it for so long. I guess a crinkle cutter is not for me. I know I will never reach for this when I'm in a hurry and I can just use a normal knife. Category number 5 are appliances. So not like large appliances, however you can declutter those too, I guess, if you have an extra fridge, but more like small appliances. I'm talking about things like, you know, an old coffee maker that you don't even use anymore, having multiple kettles, or if you went through a phase where you loved crock pots, so you had 3, and then you really only end up using one particular size that's your favorite. Anything that was a fad, so say you bought like a pressure cooker because you love the idea of it, but you never really use your pressure cooker, those are the things I'm talking about. The reason I love letting go of appliances is they're usually large and bulky and they instantly create so much space. Like if the only thing you did today was go into your kitchen and get rid of one old appliance that you're no longer using, then boom, you already have like a ton of extra space. What I'm super pumped about is that I actually had this category in my own kitchen. So I laugh at myself because so many times when I'm like thinking of things, I'm like, I don't have any extra clutter. I don't have anything extra like that. And I almost always do. So we have this toaster. This was our old toaster that we had for many, many years. It was a really good toaster. However, it stopped like popping. Like you put it down and it toasted it, but there was no like signal to turn it off. So it would burn or you'd have to pop it up yourself, which was fine for the most part. Like I kind of made it work. Like it probably was like that for almost a year. However, one day, a couple months ago, Scott brought home a toaster from work that he said that at his work, there was a table that just says free. It had a sign that said free and there was a toaster on it. And he thought, well, why not try it? So he brought it home and it's a really good toaster and it works perfectly. The funny thing is we're like, okay, let's use the new toaster for a couple of weeks and try it. And then before we let go of the old toaster, you know, just in case like the new one like doesn't really work or it burns it or whatever. If we start using the new toaster works great. It's perfect, it's beautiful, it has like different settings, it pops when it's supposed to, it's wonderful. And so this little toaster got stuck in behind the old toaster, just kind of got shoved in behind in the cupboard. And it's not like I'd really forgotten about it, but there was just like a weird mental block. Like what if the new toaster stops working? Like a weird connection to this toaster because we had it for so long and it felt weird to get rid of it because it was like a staple in our kitchen. But I absolutely know we will never use it again. It really doesn't work. It should really just go to hazardous waste. So I'm gonna put that in our outgoing pile and we're gonna get rid of that. Category number 6 are what if items. But I have some specific examples of what if items that I know we do not need. Example 1. Leo has this super cute water bottle. It's like one of those Hydro Flask, which is like a good brand. He got it a couple years ago from Scott's parents. We've like replaced the top a couple times, the straw. It's a really, really good water bottle. And it came in this little holder. So if anyone else has this water bottle, you might know about it. It comes with this little bottom like protector sort of thing, like a stopper. Anyway, I can't get it back on, but you get the idea. So it came with this on the bottom. It was super annoying, like so much buildup inside of this thing. It was always kind of moldy. It was like such a pain to clean. And I have probably had this off of it for over a year. And I have kept this piece. Like, what if one day I have to like start using it again? What if Leo asks about it? Like, he's never gonna ask about it. Like, I'll never start using this again. I hated this. And since I've stopped using it, I love this water bottle more. So like, what am I keeping it for? This is going. Another what if example. This ice cube tray. So we have 2 ice cube trays exactly like this in our freezer. So we already have 2 of these trays in the freezer. And for some reason, Scott has always wanted to keep this 3rd tray, like in case we need extra ice for a party, in case what? Like what in case would we ever need an extra tray for? We have never, like, I don't remember the last time we used this extra tray. It just keeps getting moved around from cupboard to cupboard and driving me absolutely crazy. So this is leaving our house. If we never need so much ice that our 2 ice cube trays are not enough, then we are probably just gonna buy a bag of ice at the store. So if you have an item that you're just keeping it because what if, you can probably let it go. Category 7 is basically anything and everything probably in your junk drawer. I will show you ours. It's not fancy, but it is pretty organized. So this is our junk drawer. As you can see, we keep like the standard stuff. There's my phone. We have a charger, some of Scott's cards, some paper, and like just like little notepads and pens and Sharpies. These elastics I use a ton for like wrapping food and stuff like that. Same with these. The paper clips are running low. We have tape. These are our extra car keys. We have them in like an old little pouch that we keep our extra car keys in. And this is like my address book, which probably doesn't need to live there, but that's all we have, and a ruler. So that's pretty standard for what we have in there. Again, like it's not fancy, but it really doesn't get overwhelmed because we have a space for everything. But if I would say typically, if there's one thing from a junk drawer to get rid of, it is paper. Paper, like old crafts of the kids, old bills, things that actually need action taken on, things that can just be thrown out. If our junk drawer ever does get overwhelming or full of stuff, it means that things either just need to be thrown out or rehomed. If your junk drawer is overwhelming, maybe just pick like 5 items from it, take them out, put them in the garbage or where they need to go, and you're already way ahead of the game. Number 8 are cookbooks. Obviously, if you have cookbooks that you use and you grab for all the time, and if you have a specific space where they fit perfectly and they feel good, that is amazing. But if you're overwhelmed with cookbooks and you have ones that you were gifted, or maybe you bought them a long time ago and they don't really serve like your current lifestyle, let them go. I never had a really like beautiful spot to display my cookbooks, so they were always tucked away. So what I did was I let the actual cookbook go, and I just made a copy or wrote out any of the recipes that I absolutely loved and kept them in my like meal planning sort of like recipe binder. I shared this binder before. I just did actually a meal planning video, but I'll give you an example. Recipe for roasted vegetables, so it's not very exciting. However, I could never remember exactly what temperature and stuff to do veggies at to make them perfect, and I just found that this one I absolutely love. So I got rid of the cookbook, but I cut out the piece, or I photocopied it, and I put it into here, and it's in plastic, so it keeps it nice and clean and it doesn't get wrecked, and it's like easy for me to grab, and I don't have to like flip through pages and pages of recipes that I just don't use. Category 9 are like kitchen linens. So dishcloths, napkins, tea towels, placemats, all that sort of thing. So we have ours in a cute little basket here, all of our linens in there. My like one easy go-to tip for sorting through or like deciding what like linens to keep is just look on the bottom of the pile. So whether you keep things in a drawer or if you keep them in a basket or a bin or whatever, look whatever's in the bottom of the pile or the back of the drawer, because those are things that you probably haven't used lately and that can maybe go. So I happened to look through ours like yesterday, I think, and we have a ton. We use linen, we use like cloth napkins and placemats every night. So we use ours, so that I know that we've been using regularly. However, I totally forgot that I had my mom make this table runner for us. It is the same fabric that I bought that I recovered our dining room chairs in. And so I had an extra piece of fabric. So I asked my mom if she would make like a little table runner for us, and she did. And honestly, I completely forgot we had it. I am going to put it on the table, and I am going to like use it for the next couple of days, and I'm gonna see if I like it. And if it's something that I know, if it's like annoys me and I know I'm not gonna keep it on the table, then I know that it's time to let that go. Category number 10, the final category is Tupperware. I mean, I call it Tupperware, whatever, your plastic containers, your glass containers, your food storage containers. A few that are easy to let go of are ones that you're just not using. My theory for Tupperware like drawers is, if the drawer never really gets empty at any point in the week or in the month, if you are never using all of them at the same time, like almost like within reason, then maybe you don't need as many as you have. One of the easiest tricks to do is if you store your Tupperware with the lids off, then just going through all your items and seeing everything that doesn't have a lid and getting rid of the items that don't have a lid, that's like your easiest go-to. And if you have extra or surplus or don't have space for them all, then they can go. So in that few really short minutes that I took to declutter my kitchen, I got rid of 7 items, and I feel like we are now officially ready for the holidays, ready to start like baking and spending more time at home over the winter and making a million school lunches and snacks as per normal. I hope this gave you a few ideas of things that you can do to simplify your kitchen and make it a happier, easier, more calm place to be in. If you do declutter your kitchen, tell me below what you got rid of. I want to hear your wins. I want to hear your successes, even if it's just 1 or 2 items. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.